You better watch out. You better not cry. You better watch out. The wolf is coming. Ugh. What's going on, lads? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to Patreon first and then YouTube a little bit later on, lads. If you want to support me, consider joining on Patreon. You get access to all of these videos a lot earlier, but this will be going on YouTube as well at some point. I'm going to try and start uploading my album reactions to YouTube as well. You've seen I've done a lot of them over the past couple of days. So I hope people are enjoying the longer form content, because I think a lot of people found my channel via my long form album reactions. So I'm going to bring them back, but obviously there needs to be some incentive there for people. You see, normally I'd just cut all this stuff out, but because it's long form, I don't really care. So I was like, I'll just add some more in. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, obviously get access to these videos a little bit earlier and just help your boy out. Links are in the description, man. Friend of a Phantom has released, finally, VOLA's, I don't know what number album this is, but it's 40 minutes long. I've had some mixed opinions on the album so far, and I think a lot of people have been much the same. I know the Wolf song, was it called Paper Wolf, which is track number 6 in this album, had some people being like, well, some people really liked it, and I think it's one of those songs when I hear again in the context of the album, it'll probably grow me. I just have beef with that song, okay? But I did check out Cannibal, which was featuring Anders of In Flames, and I love that song. Way more up my street in terms of what VOLA can do. And what I've been hearing, which is making me very excited about this album, which is actually kind of contrary to how albums seem to be working lately, is that the non-singles seem to be what people are getting involved with, if that makes sense. Like I've got a lot of people in my Discord community and like just people in general that I've seen talking about it online, is that, again, contrary to how albums work these days, where it seems that all the best songs are singles and then the album feels a little bit underwhelming when it drops because like the singles were just all the strong points and we've already heard all them. Then when the new content arrives, it's kind of like, new album, but like all the best songs were already released and we've already heard them before. And it just ends up making the album feel a little bit like lackluster. So with this one, what I'm hearing is that the singles are actually a lot stronger. There's a lot of people that I trust their opinion of VOLA very, very strongly because they're like, VOLA's some of their favorite bands. And I think that's what they're saying. A lot of people are saying that like, I was kind of in the same bracket where I didn't really love a lot of the singles, but now this album is slapping. So very much so excited to check this one out. It's Friend of a Phantom, came out on Friday. It is now Sunday. So I'm a little bit late, but we're here. Break My Lying Tongue, apparently I've heard. I don't remember it, but it's apparently, as you can see on screen, it's apparently something that I have checked out. So we'll see. And then obviously I've checked out Paper Wolf, and then the most recent single, which is Bleed Out, which came out with the album release, I haven't heard. So interested. Let's start off with Cannibal featuring Anders of In Flames. Again, we've already heard it, so we'll listen to it again. Hello, Phil. I think it's Anders that's like harmonizing with the scream. Do you say harmonizing for a scream? He's screaming along with the chorus. Just adds a bit of grit to it because the main vocalist of VOLA is very like, oh. He reminds me of Jens Kidman so much. Even just how he looks. It's like a kind of younger Jens with less beard. What a feature. That's how you do a feature, man. So good. Yeah, it is him doing the harmonization, I guess. Is it harmon? Let me know. Why did that stop? What the fuck? You summoned us. Yeah, let me know. Is it called harmonization when it's someone singing and someone screaming? Probably is. Again, a lot of experimentation with their synth work across the songs that I have heard. Again, not the biggest fan of the synth work that was used on Paper Wolf. Felt a little bit try-hardy. But this is all nice so far. Actually, I think the ending of this song is a bit, like, drawn out, if I remember correctly. Okay. Okay. Alright, lads, go home, for fuck's sake. I'll never get tired of, like, making that joke that I can just imagine this being, like, one of those scenarios where the band doesn't realize that the gig is over and they just continue to play to an empty venue, and it's like they have the lights turned back on and everything, and the band is just so locked in that they don't realize. I always make that joke when it feels like songs probably overstay their welcome. I don't think there was anything necessarily wrong with how that ended. I just feel like for an intro song, this feels like it's kind of the lead into an interlude. Because of how long it's drawn out, it almost feels like we're going to get this pause section next, where like we're on, say, track 6 or 7 of the album, where it kind of takes a bit of a breather and goes into like a minute-long interlude where it's like and like transports you into the next part of the song. I don't know what it is. It's just this song makes me feel like that's where it should be positionally on the album. Good song, but it feels like they probably could have cut that a minute short, just because of its positioning on the album. It's like, why does this feel like we're ending the album or going into an interlude? But that's just really being picky. Great song, really enjoyed it. Again, I've heard it once. I actually might, you know, I'm going to add this to my liked tracks because I haven't really gone back to this, but hearing this again makes me want to go back to it. I liked it when I first heard it, especially compared to Paper Wolf. I'm the biggest Paper Wolf hater. It's going to be fun to listen to Paper Wolf again because I really just was like, I don't know, I'm sorry. I just get annoyed by that song. It pisses me off a lot. But great song. Let's keep going. Break My Lying Tongue. Was this the first single? No, I think it was the second one. Oh, it's the synth again. Pisses me off, man. I have heard this, yeah. This kind of feels like... Why? It reminds me of like Linkin Park era. It's like a Linkin Park synth or some shit. I don't know. I don't know why. That doesn't... That's not the reason it pisses me off, because it sounds like Linkin Park. I don't know what it is. Can someone tell me why I don't like this synth? I don't know.
your excitement.
I think I checked this out on stream and didn't like it, and then just didn't upload a video for it. Let's hear it again though.
Or two. Another week of misalignment.
I do kind of like that there's two singles back to back at the start of the album, because it's like, right, all new content apart from Paper Wolf. Okay, right. Quick pause. I'm not going to be a dickhead like I normally am and pause for 7 hours per song. Trying to like figure out what it is that I do not like about that. That synth. I think what's coming to my brain straight away, and this might change. Is there an over-reliance of the synth for the melody in this? I think synth work is great when it's done like in a way that complements the actual song. But I think the synth is so prominent in this that it kind of forces you to pay attention to it, and it's just a little bit annoying. I don't know what it is to do like that. The melody, I cannot tell you what it is. It's pissing me off a lot. Maybe it'll come to me when I hear it again. But instantly, I think maybe there's an over-reliance on leading the song with that synth, instead of building the song and then having the synth as like something that kind of complements it, if that makes sense. It's like so front and center in the chorus. It's kind of like getting in the way of everything. And it's kind of annoying, so it doesn't help. If it was a cool synth, I'd probably look away from it, but I just don't like the synth itself. It's a bit goofy or something.
I would have dared to stay. Break my lights
I mean, it's definitely fucking unique, you know what I mean? That's one thing you can't take away from VOLA. I've heard this a couple times now. But like even a mid-VOLA song is still like pretty fucking high tier, you know? They do have a really unique, like contrasting sound with the really ominous vocals, and then some of the fucking crushing riffs that they have, you know? Yeah, Drummond's so sick. Okay, next song. Felt like that transition into the breakdown. Like I've heard the song and that still kind of caught me off guard, but not in like a good way. I don't know. We'll just move on. New songs. We Will Not Dispand. I love the artwork for this, by the way. It's absolutely fucking beautiful. I really like the 156. Shut up, Joe. Oh, we have lyrics. Nice. Nice touch.
Light the fuse. I won't be able to contain this, can't you? We saw the light in this broken land. We saw the colors in the crystal blue. We crossed the light with our broken hands. We will not dispand. Truth be told, we found a trail across the roof in a blindfold.
Okay, chorus didn't like instantly grab me, but it's a nice song. Not like an over-reliance of synth work in this. Nice piano on the back.
We're louder than the universe
Not right now, but in the chorus.
inside.
I think. There's a real bubbly undertone synth here. This is nice.
We saw the light.
Yeah, piano.
We saw the colors in the crystal.
Yeah, the piano's just following the melody of the vocals.
We crossed the light with our broken hands. We will not dispand.
How does he pull this off live? Because it's such a like... very Tesseract here. This literally feels like it could be off Sonder.
We saw the light in this broken land. We saw the colors in the crystal blue. We crossed the light with our broken.
Man, there's such a subtle detail in the synth that makes this so emotional. It's that like emotionally droning synth. Oh, that's the kicker for me. That's the kicker in the song for me. Makes that quiet. And that makes that very emotional. Just the way that flows. Okay, nice song. I'm very interested. How do they play this live? Because the instrumentals are so big. Like some of those chords are huge. The drumming's so fucking intense. Obviously, there's a lot of like, I'm guessing backing tracks when they're playing live with all the synth work and everything. But the vocals are so... You saw the light. Like that must be so hard to get across live. I've never seen these guys live. I believe they're fantastic. But obviously the vocals are very pulled back. Now, in the mix, they sound great. Like this is why I'm like impressed by it, because they've managed to get such like somber vocals so front and center in a mix that is so, I won't say chaotic, but there's a lot of noise in the mix. There's a lot going on. Like they're not pulling back with the drums. Again, the synths are prominent. There's piano. There's like some, that lovely like, that synth is brilliant. That kind of drives the emotion of the song for me. But point is that the vocals are still like managing to hold their own. But how would they do it live? I guess because I don't think they really scream. I can't remember. Did VOLA scream much other than having features? Obviously, they had the Anders feature. We'll see. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, let me know in the comments like how they pull it off live. Like I'm guessing they can do it. They're not the only band in the world that has like, I guess, clean vocals in songs. But it's like the on a monotone meandering through verses, and then even the choruses are very like light. Must be hard to get that to really like shine in a live environment when the live instruments are behind it, you know? Especially like fucking 7-string, 8-string guitars. And then I'm guessing they have a bassist as well. Like, it's a lot to compete with on the stage for sound, you know? But this is Glass Mannequin. No, I didn't love that song. Not bad. Might be a grower over time.
Worthless. My inner vision is birthless. Holes appear on its surface, and move us further apart. Restless, I dream of solving the big test, finding the flaw in your protest that moves us further apart.
I love how this is building.
I don't wanna throw this glass javelin. I don't wanna watch it fly. I don't wanna break my glass mannequin.
The clarity of the vocals is amazing. This is on YouTube as well. It's gonna sound so much better on Spotify or Tidal.
Find us. The final map is behind us. We long for brightness that blinds us
Oh, this is gonna hit. I've got chills.
and moves us back to the start.
Yeah, the clarity is some of the best vocal clarity I've heard mixing wise in a long fucking time. Jesus, sounds amazing.
I don't wanna throw this glass javelin.
Okay, we're kind of repeating. We're still building.
I don't wanna watch it fly. I don't wanna break my glass mannequin once again. I don't wanna throw this glass javelin. I don't wanna watch it fly. I don't wanna break my glass mannequin once again.
Oh my god, that's the whole song. Okay, I feel like I've just been edged for 3.5 minutes. Fuck. Okay, I mean, I like it. Again, the vocal clarity is absolutely beautiful. Some of the fucking best vocal mixing I've heard in, like I said, definitely this year. But I can't help but feel like we've just been edged for so long. Like, why did we not go anywhere? Now, I'm sure this song will make up for it. This is the last single. This is 6 minutes long. I just feel like I've been touched for 4 minutes and nothing came of it, you know? Sorry.
We were born one day apart. I grew teeth, you grew a heart. We became a work of art, surely. You connected, I went through. You compiled the stones I threw. I'm a poison pushing through, purely.
Punch me. This is Ravada again on the visuals. Just subtle nuances that just instantly tell me it's Ravada. All this stuff. Oh, this is gonna fucking loaf me. After being edged so hard in the last song, I wanted the crescendo of the first drop to be like 7-string, 8-string riffs. Like heavy, not like big synth, big room choruses again. But they're still edging. I need something heavier, lads. You're just gonna have to fucking give me something. I feel like we're getting heavier though. The album will evolve. The key change is making me think we're gonna go back to just big anthemic chorus. Give me something fucking heavy, please. It's not bad, Drew. Just... Come on. Caveman wants breakdown. Booga booga. Caveman want breakdown. Give me a... You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? Type beat. Come on. I've been edged for too long, just hit me! Where's them drums? That tone, yes. Ooh. Okay, look, I got it. I have to... Solid song. Might go playlist. I think I'll put a playlist. Come on, I'll put it in a playlist. Yeah, okay, I have chills. I have chills. What doesn't matter more? Why you gotta do me like that, man? I'm so ready to commit to that chorus. What doesn't matter? Secondary breakdown. That tone is, I'm sorry, but lethargica, the sugar. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, fuck. I hate this song. I don't even know if it's lethargica. It's one of the songs off of Obzen anyway. It's every song off Obzen, to be honest. But anyway. Oh, this song, man. Let's see. Okay, this part is cool. Okay, this part is really cool. It's just a wow, 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 wow that annoys me. It's like fucking Dappy Duck rapping or some shit. I feel like I'm gonna end up loving this song. It's just, it's written in the stars, isn't it? It makes more sense now though, because I feel like I've been edged quite a lot in this album, and now it feels like it's picking up a little bit. So Paper Wolf ironically is going to be the savior for me after that glass mannequin edging spree. It's not that bad. I'm kind of just memeing at this point, but I'm sure there's some fucking like metaphorical writing in there or some, you know, some deeper meaning behind it, but I can't do it, man. Let me read the fucking lyrics. Are the lyrics in the description? Okay. I dream of the day. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I know obviously I put on that like face when that song came on, but credit where it's due. I think this song is actually ironically coming to the not the rescue, sorry. Don't let's not get this twisted. I think this album, if these last 3 songs end up being like on the same path that we're going with, being a little heavier, I think this is going to be a fucking sick album. I think the album is going to flow from like a little bit more, you know, we obviously started quite heavy with Cannibal, but then we did start to like maybe tone it down a little bit, and I feel like we're going to start building up again. Obviously we had We Will Not Dispand, which kind of forgetful, I don't really remember at all. I think it was a track that sounded a little bit like some of the Sonder era of Tesseract. Nothing to write home about, to be honest, but Glass Mannequin was like a full-on, felt like a song from Sleep Token without a payoff, if that makes sense. It felt like an attempt to do something like Sleep Token. I know VOLA have always been fucking spectacular, and they've always tried like, you know, different things, and they've always been very prog, and they've always implemented like so many different cool things, and it's not like, oh, VOLA are just trying to be creative now because Sleep Token are popular. Not at all. But it did just feel kind of like a Sleep Token song. But what makes Sleep Token stand out, I think, for the most part, is they will have something to kind of round up the song and make it a little bit more memorable. They definitely do have certain songs that are more closely aligned with the composition of Glass Mannequin, where it's kind of just like a ballad that doesn't really elaborate into any big crescendo moment. But the way that's flowing, that only being track 4, then we had Bleed Out, which obviously kind of continues the edging, but we get the payoff at the end. And then Paper Wolf, as a single, I think it was mainly just the synth and the choruses that kind of made it so that I didn't really like the song. But instrumentally, listen to it again, man, and the way it flowed from Bleed Out. Some of the better riffs on the album so far, some of the better grooves. Very, very fun song. There's a great, don't get me wrong, the melody structure of the chorus is fucking great. It's just the lyrical content, which, again, it's kind of part and parcel with my compliments of the album so far, is that the vocal mixing is so good. Sometimes maybe you might get away with it because the vocal mixing might not be as prominent and as clear, and there's just so much clarity in everything he says that I can't help but hear the lyrics because it's so fucking well done that I'm like, oh, I can't find this cool when it's like, you better watch out, the wolf is, regardless of what the context is or like what they're actually talking about. I'm not locking in too much on the lyrics, but when they're that like in your face and well, the sound design is so good on his vocals throughout the entire album, not just this song. But it kind of just leaves it in a position where it's like, oh, maybe it would be better if the vocal mix kind of sucked, so I didn't have to pay too much attention to the lyrics. But look, I get it. People are going to be like, oh, you're not paying attention to the lyrics. You're actually talking about some symbolic meaning or some, like, you know, regardless of what they're talking about. And maybe I'm like playing too much into it sounding like a fairy tale song or something, like a child's rhyme. Regardless of what the actual meaning of it behind it is, maybe it's being ironic. It doesn't matter. It's just, those are the lyrics that I'm hearing. And it's enough for me to be like, oh, I can't really get down to this song. But anyway, we got track number 7, I Don't Know How We Got Here. But again, the texturing of this album, there's so much fucking fullness to it. Like even here, like the flute or whatever instrument we have playing, it's just adding so much detail. So much rounded in texture and fullness.
The boy was killed in the arcade. The ice cream spilled down on the blade. 1,000 lights starting to fade down where he played.
VOLA have some weird ass lyrics.
Starting to crawl, easing her fall. Hey, I don't know how we got so far down here. I don't know how the silence broke our ears. I don't know how we got so far down here, choking slowly. I don't know how we got here. The birthday card flew into space. The red balloons, cold and discreet.
Man, it reminds me of how Stephen Wilson builds a lot of his songs. Like that electronic layering is just constantly developing in the background.
I don't know how we got so far down here. I don't know how the silence broke our ears. I don't know how we got so far down here, choking slowly.
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep on going. There's 2 songs left. We got Hollow Kid and Trey. That's such a cool touch, syncing up the guitars. Oh man, they pull the guitar out and now sync it with the piano. I think I'll playlist this one. I've heard enough to add this to playlist for sure. I like this one. Will they go back to that opening riff? I'd love them to go back to that riff where they synced up there, or just even the note. Bam, bam. They're gonna go huge for this though. Why does that keep happening? My fucking audio just keeps going dead for like half a second. Sorry about that, I don't know what's happening. Seems to only happen when I watch on YouTube. Anyway, we're on to the last song. Oh man, this has been a fucking great album just in terms of how it's flowed. I mean, last track, it feels like I could do another 25 minutes of this, 30 minutes. Always say it, it's better when these albums, you're kind of longing a little bit for a little bit more, as opposed to just like, lads, I've somewhere to be, can we fucking wrap this up a little bit, you know?
years ago. Now I'm breathing your air down below. There's a dog in the bed, left unbound. Will you greet me the day I come around? Excuse me while I strain my blinded eyes. Excuse me while I drain another life. My terrain is slipping away. And your champagne is still on its way. I gave up my distress
Oh yeah.
years ago. You were never impressed.
I have no idea how they're going to finish this album, which is such a good thing. It's like edge of the sea stuff.
In the bright chandeliers,
I don't think it's going to be heavy, but it's going to be euphoric.
oceans to
It's going to be massive. It's going to be emotional, I'd imagine.
burst. Excuse me while I strain my blinded eyes. Excuse me while I drain another life. My terrain is slipping away.
Yeah.
And your champagne is still on its way.
I think it just has to be playlist, isn't it? Weirdest fucking lyrics ever. I didn't realize how weird VOLA's lyrics were until this album, but what is going on?
Lost in waves and never fall. The corner fails, reaching for a higher with 70 tails. My terrain is slipping away. My dark horse refrains from the day. My terrain is slipping away. My dark horse refrains from the day.
Oh, this is so good.
All my rats are begging to stay.
The chills I have right now.
Your champagne is still on its way.
Man. That was a satisfying way to end the album. I was kind of feeling like I was being edged a little bit again, where some of the melody, the climactic moments of the melody in certain lines were not like satisfying enough, but some of the runoffs at the end of the sentence where they'd like go into a bit of a falsetto moment just sold it for me. I was a little bit worried that like it's almost there, but yeah, I think they really nailed it. And I think that will just continue to grow over time. That's a beautiful song. And a great way to end the album, man. I'm always so high on a big intro to an album and a big outro to an album. And I think they did both of those very, very well. Now, obviously, the content within the walls of the intro and the outro, we'll have to have a little chat about. But first of all, I need to go for a wee, brothers. So I'll be back in a moment and we'll talk about it. Okay, we're back and let's talk about the album. I'll do my best to round up my thoughts in a concise manner without rambling for hours like I normally do. Apologies. But Of the 9 tracks on the album, the 40 minutes, I ended up liking 4 of them, adding 4 to my playlist. So we had Cannibal, which was the first track. I added track number 5, which was Bleed Out. Honestly, Paper Wolf, track number 6 could make it 5 out of 9, but I'm going to leave it off just because of the lyrics and the synth. I'm just going to hold a grudge against it forever. So that's not going to get added. Hollow Kid, which was track number 8, and Trey, which was track number 9. So of the 9 tracks, 4 of them added. That's a pretty solid return on a 40-minute album. Again, the length of the album was absolutely perfect for me. I could have listened to another 10, 15, 20 minutes of that and probably not being fatigued. Obviously, it's not the heaviest music in the world, which we'll get into. So it's a little bit easier to listen to more of. So 40 minutes I thought was perfect. Again, always better to leave the audience longing for more, I believe, in my own opinion, from my own experience with albums. I'd rather be finishing up an album and being like, fuck man, I wish that would have went on for a little bit longer, as opposed to like, lads, I have an appointment that fucking midday and yous have been playing for the last 2 hours, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I talk a lot of shit whilst I'm reacting. I do a lot of pausing and stuff, so I naturally make albums feel a lot longer because of how much like yapping I do, essentially. So it's kind of not really the band's fault, but even with my yapping and stuff throughout this album, it still didn't feel that long at all. So amazing stuff. We'll speak of the like pros that I have written down, so like some of the things I really enjoyed about the album, and then we'll speak of some of the things that maybe I would change or just I didn't really love. So I thought the vocal mixing on this album, I've mentioned it a few times, was absolutely amazing. The vocals aren't like exactly commanding in terms of their delivery. Like they're not attention grabbing in terms of his actual delivery. I mean, maybe because it's like progressive metal music and like gent adjacent music, I guess. The vocals are kind of commanding just by default, because most vocals in this style or genre are like scream vocals for the most part. So I guess by default, yes, they are kind of unique in their own right, and that would make them kind of capturing your attention a little bit easier. But what I mean by that is, like, if you were to hear this on a stage, it's not exactly like someone screaming. Like if someone's screaming, obviously with like a fry vocal, it's going to be more attention grabbing, whereas these vocals just inherently are not like demanding of your attention. They're very like somber and moody and like more emphasis on emotion, and yeah, it's just different. It's very, very different. So the vocal mixing for me, the clarity of the vocals is insane to like pull it off. It's why I was talking about like it would be really interesting to see how these guys pull this off live, because like you have some like real thick like 7 or 8 string guitar riffs in moments, and then the vocals on top of that are like very like soft spoken, and you know, it's not like screaming over it. So it's like I don't know, it's just the way the vocals are mixed I thought was very, very well done, because it would be very easy for those vocals to get lost. We've heard it before where like they try and do like a kind of Chino Moreno style vocals on top of a like modern metal track, and it just gets lost because the instrumentals and the mixing of the instrumentals and everything, like the synth work and everything else that's going on around it, kind of drowns it out a little bit. So I thought the vocal mix was fantastic. One of the standout moments of the album for me, or one of the standout like things of the album for me, is the vocal mixing. Sounds amazing. I also think the production and like all of the post-production that is added, like the synth work like we discussed, and just some of the subtle details of whether it be like additional instrumentals. There was a moment with a flute, I think, at the start of one of the songs. Just every moment feels so full and full of texture. It's like really, really a sign of how much work has gone into this album. It's just, when you hear a lot of these albums, you can just sense when there's like a lot of love put into certain details of certain albums. It's like it would be easy to like not notice these things, but like putting an emphasis on like just subtle small synth works that like lead you down an emotional path. Like what was the song that had the really beautiful synth work in it? I can't remember what it was. It was really emotional. I love the emotional droning, but yeah, it was in We Will Not Dispand, which wasn't a song that I ended up making to my playlist, but again, just subtle details where like I think it was in the chorus, there was like a very emotional synth that just like really like tugged on your heartstrings without even saying anything, you know what I mean? It's literally just a synth, but it's doing so much just by being there. So it's very well thought out. Again, there is a few things I could talk about like positively, but I do have some things that kind of like strip back the experience of the album for me, but I still think it's an amazing album. I say all that to, like, I preface this by saying I think this is one of the better albums I've heard in a while, like just over the last couple like weeks. I've done a few solid albums. I don't think it's going to be in my top 5 albums this year. It might make top 10. I'll have to listen a bit more. I think this will grow on me, but I think some of the things that might hold me back a little bit on this album is real nitpicky stuff, but like there is some weird goofy lyrics in this. I don't know, and again, going back to the pro and like the positive thing, that the album is very like the vocals are very clear. When the vocals are that clear and there's like so much clarity in the tone and everything he's saying, when the lyrics are a little bit weird and spontaneous and like, what did he just say, it's kind of like it kind of, you almost wish that the mix wasn't so good on the vocals, because maybe I wouldn't notice it as much. So that was one thing that I'm a little bit nitpicky about. It's a small detail. Certain songs, Paper Wolf is obviously the very obvious one. I think it was Hollow Kid as well, was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, the boy was killed with the knife and then the ice cream fell on the blade. I was like, what the fuck is this? But again, just small details, kind of irrelevant for most people. I know a lot of people don't care about the lyrics, but again, when the vocals are that clear, it kind of forces you into like hearing the lyrics and you're like, what did bro say? And it takes you out of the mood, I think, a little bit. Again, it's very small details. I personally would have liked there to be some more memorable heavy riffs. There's some riffs in there, don't get me wrong, there really is, and weirdly enough, some of the best like rhythm moments in the album was in Paper Wolf, which is probably like the song that I had the most distaste for going into the album, which is kind of ironic. But some of the more memorable guitar moments, there's like 3 songs I would say with like really memorable like riffs and stuff, which, just as like someone who loves metal music, and you know, some of my favorite VOLA songs are the heavier tracks, I just feel like it was maybe a little bit lacking in that department for my own personal taste. And then I guess a good way of describing it, as I was listening to this album, I was like, what's a good way to describe this album? It feels like you're watching one of the most technical, if we're talking about this in like boxing terms, right? It feels like you're watching some like really high skilled operator, some really, really good technical boxer that's like dancing around the ring, and he's picking his opponent off with a jab, and he's flipping and he's moving, you know, he's got like real technical footwork, and he's really, really good, and he's beautiful to watch. That is VOLA. But it just feels like he doesn't have that knockout punch that you just kind of like can't really get into him as like it's beautiful to watch, don't get me wrong, but you kind of rather watch some like heavy-handed knockout artist who you know is going to bring that excitement. I feel like with VOLA in this album in particular, they are that perfect boxer, perfect technique, like it's all very well crafted, but it's just missing that final blow. Even like the big moments, like the crescendo moments in some of the songs, like Bleed Out. I think Bleed Out was like the biggest moment that we had probably in the entire album. Trey is huge as well, the final song of the album, but that's more of like an emotional take. I think there's a lot of emphasis on big, cinematic, atmospheric, like arena style choruses in this with like big synth work, which is great. I love that, but I feel like that contrast is a little bit, I think it's a little bit skewed. So maybe like 70% it's on that like vibey style, and then 30% it's like the heavier metal stuff that I would enjoy a little bit more, I guess. So even if they like narrow that down to be like 50-50, where we get like stupid riffs and then also all of the fun stuff that I guess makes VOLA really, really unique, you know, because let's be honest, the riffs and the breakdowns and stuff aren't what makes VOLA unique. It's all of the other, like it's the vocals that I touched on. It's some of the weird and wonderful synth work that they use, and there's some of their song structures and just the flow of the album in general, and some of their like lyrical choices. That's what makes VOLA for me. A lot of bands have that like breakdown and stuff, like, you know, it's not, I'm not looking for anything spectacular in that field, but I just do feel like to keep the album a little bit more alive for me in certain parts, I would have loved something like that a little bit more, just a little bit more like of those hard-hitting riffs. So yeah, that's all for me, lads. I'm not going to give the album a rating because, again, it's very hard, I find, these days to give a rating fairly, because I'll listen to it now and give it like a fucking 8.5 out of 10, and then next week I'm like, do you know what, I don't agree with that. But unfortunately my rating is there forever, and people just hold on to these things, like they hold on to the ratings, like, you gave this album this. Like, I still get comments on videos I did like 3 years ago when I didn't really know as much as I know now, and I would just have a rating for whatever reason, and then people still hold me to that rating, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to deal with this 3 years later. I don't even remember what that album sounded like, you know. But anyway, lads, that's all for me. If you did enjoy, leave a like in the video. Shout out to anyone who's watching on Patreon, much love for all the support, and then anyone who's watching on YouTube after the fact, consider supporting on Patreon as well. All the links are in the description, lads. Much appreciated. Let me know what you think of the album in the comments down below. I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.